Okay, now let's get started with actually doing a before and after. There's different types of posts you may do. You could do the advice type of post. You could do the, anything you really want to do. You could develop your own topics if you want to. Up here in the navigation, right now, we have advice, before and after, and specials. But if you decide to add more, you can do that. And what's nice about when you add those, and I showed you how to do that in the last one, um, it'll automatically, if you add another category for your posts, it'll show up here automatically, so it builds right into your site, and you won't have to learn how to do the navigation part of it. Okay, so first thing we got to do is we have to log in. Okay, again, you go to the Contact Us page, and the login form will be here. Now I'm already logged in, so I don't have to do anything. If you were logged in, of course, nothing will have to be done. You'll go to the site administration to start working on it. If you have to log in, you'll put in your user and password, and you'll come to this screen, and bang, you'll click to go to the dashboard. Now, like I showed you in the last video, there's only two areas where you make changes in additions, posts, and pages. We didn't talk about pages, but your pages are here, and they work just like a post, but the text is bigger, basically, and you don't have the keywords. So we can look at this. Let's go ahead and look at one real quick to give you an idea what those are like. You can see the photos in there with the text, and the text is centered on this one, and the way that was done is by centering the photo, because there wasn't a lot of text. I went ahead and did that. This is just elementary formatting that you're quite capable of doing. We've got some bold there. I put an extra return in there, put a bold there, put an extra return in, and then put this stuff down there. But you'll see over here, in your case, just use the default template. There's some other ones, but if you create a page, use the default template for now. As you learn more, you can experiment with it, change the templates, and use one of the other ones. Don't use a blog page, don't use a contact page, but a full width, for example, down here, that will be one without a sidebar. And then these different template styles, don't use the portfolio pages because we're not using portfolios. Portfolio is like a photo slideshow where there's a bunch of little thumbnails on the page, and you go through all these different pictures. But here you've got these other templates, and really the only difference is that these allow a customized sidebar, so the sidebar doesn't always have to be the same. In all the post pages, for example, the sidebar will always be the same. You only have one you can use. By changing the page template, you can have a different sidebar, and none of those have to be created individually. That is, again, more advanced type stuff. Sidebars and stuff are created under appearance in the widgets area. Again, as you learn more, you may want to go that and take a look at that. But just like anything that you learned in the first video, if you come in here and you want to change something, you go in there and you change it. After you're done, you update the post, and the change will be made. Okay, so let's get on with it, and let's start a new post. Okay, and I'm just going to slop this together to get through it as quickly as possible, and so that you learn the important things. So you start out, you go to the post, and of course you see your list of posts, and you go to add new. Okay, and then let's say this is going to be a before and after, and we're going to use I'm going to pull those pictures from the vehicle, so we're going to do vehicle before and after. I think we named the other one that, didn't we? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so there's your page title. Okay, and the page title can be whatever you want. It doesn't have to say before and after, to be honest with you. I just don't. You guys will have better ideas on how to title things, I think, because you're a lot closer to the subject matter. But we're going to start out and we're going to put the text in first, okay, and then the photos, okay, because that just seems to work better when you do that, positioning the photos and getting everything to work. Because once the photos come in there, they take up a bunch of the room, and you might get a little confused as to whether to return or what to do, and you might real easily accidentally delete the photo and then have to go bring it in again. So we'll just toss some text in here. What I should do is, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to steal some text, because you can copy and paste text into something. It's funny that I went to this website. This website uses the same, it's not nearly done, but this has the photo gallery in it, okay? And so there you go. There's a good example of what that looks like. All right. Let's go back to our post here. I've got a bunch of windows open. Oh yeah, I'm practicing my keyboards. Yeah, very interesting here. Where did it go? Oh man, I lost it. Edit post. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to grab the text and copy it. So I've just got it. I can just paste it into the example that we're working on here right now. We go back to our add new. I don't know if you use tabs on your browser. I do. That's how I went from page to page to page there. And I'm just going to paste the text in there. And but I'm going to do something, and this is part of our tutorial. If you let's say you're adding an advice piece and you're copying and pasting the text, make sure that this full window is open, okay? And this is called Show Kitchen Sink, and that little button is, let me see, one of these, Show Hide Kitchen Sink. So if you're at your post window and you only have one of these going across, there's a second one that you get by showing the kitchen sink, okay? And what I'm going to do here is, because I'm pasting text that's already formatted, which you don't want to do, okay? You don't want to paste formatted text in it because it's going to give you a lot of headaches. Right over here, it has paste from Word. So if it is pre-formatted in Word, you can paste that in, and it should accept all of what's in there. But for the most part, when you're lifting text off the internet or someplace like that, like I just did, you paste it in here, into that window that I selected there, and then insert it into the post. You can see now it doesn't have the bold, it doesn't have any of that. And the reason being, I wanted to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to make this here. I don't know what we did in the last one. Here's a great example for a before and after section. I guess we'll do the whole thing in bold. Again, that's personal taste. You do what you want. Click on photo for enlargements. You can add that in the end of post, because I think really in the before and after maybe you should, because some people are not going to catch that you click on those photos to blow them up. And of course they don't see the words before and after until they do that. Of course I think they could figure it out, but you know, I've learned not to expect too much of the human race when it comes to remembering things and figuring stuff out, so you may want to type that in there. Okay, this is where we had before. We had that block quote thing that looked really cool, and that's, you know, we got something here that says remember, you know, your little sales pitch, you know, and you want to add these. When you do add these, to add a really nice look to it, you come up here and you do that block quote thing. Now that's not what it's going to look like, but it looks pretty cool. Okay, and let's go ahead and make all cities carpet cleaning bold. Okay. And so now we got our text formatted, okay? We're going to do the photos last. Okay, this is a before and after, so you want to categorize that. And we want to slide down here to the next thing you need to do, and that's put in the keywords, okay? Oh man, my eyes are hurting today. Vehicle cleaning. By the way, did you see how that popped up this here because it's been used before? Boom. You just click on it and then hit add. And watch when I put in all cities. It'll start to show up here pretty soon. There it is, all cities, carpet cleaning. Add that one. And I'm just going to add carpet cleaning because that's the main category for the business. And again, it does the same thing for me. And we're going to add that one. And Panama City Beach. Panama. Come on. There it is. And there's my keywords. If you're creating a post and it has something different, tile cleaning or grout, something, whatever, you add those additional things to it. But keep Panama City Beach, keep carpet cleaning, keep all cities in there. Okay, always, and then add this one here is vehicle cleaning, whatever it might be. Okay, all right. So we're half the way home because doing the pictures is the other half. Now, in the first video, I told you, you take that mouse clicker and you put it in front of the first where the photo is going to be. If your mouse is sitting down here or something, the photo is going to insert down here. And a lot of programs you worked with, yeah, you can just drag it up to where it goes. But I got news for you, you won't be doing it in this program. Okay? And once you start dragging stuff, don't do that, by the way. Dragging stuff around the window causes all kinds of problems. Again, this works as a really functional word processing type of a program, but it's real limited. In the formatting, it can do a lot. Bulleted lists and all kinds of things that you have up here that can make things look really cool. But it's just a lot shakier. It's not nearly as strong as normal word processing. So don't try to take a photo and drag it to another place. If you have it in the wrong place, you're going to have to delete it and come back up, put your mouse in the right place, and go back and do it. Okay, so we have the clicker in the right place. Okay, and then we want to go up here, add an image. Before we do that, and I should have done this in the beginning, we didn't talk about this, visual and HTML. Don't go here. That's HTML until you learn HTML. Okay, I will work in the HTML side of it quite often when I want to do something kind of custom. Okay, and sometimes it automatically does stuff that I don't want it to do, so I'll go in there and fix that. For example, like that thing I just told you about the photo, deleting the photo. You would delete the photo, I wouldn't delete the photo. I would grab the code for the photo, bring it up, and put it in the right place. That can be done. If you start to learn those things and start to understand it, you can do that. That's going to save you time. But you should always be on the visual. So the minute you get in here and you're getting ready to do this, make sure you are visual. Because if you're not, the minute you start typing, it's going to get very confusing looking to you. Like if you make type bold or something and you're in the HTML view, it won't show up on here. You won't see it. You'll see it in the code view, okay, where it uses the word strong for the bold text. All right, but let's just not go there, okay. And really, like I only use it for fixing things or doing something more custom. Okay, we're going to add a photo. So we come up here, upload, insert. This is where you grab the photo. It's the first little box. Let's talk about the photo for a second. We're going to be going here to select files. But before you even get started, and once you start doing this, you need to get organized. Okay, so create a folder for all cities, website, and create a folder that says images or photos or whatever you want to do. Okay. Images is the standard terminology, for a website, but it doesn't matter. Photos, whatever you call it, does not matter, because you need to find your photos. Okay, and the beauty of this is, if you just keep them in that folder, and as you add new ones, you put the new ones in there too. Every time you add a post, it's going to go right to that folder. Now I think it's going to take me right there. Yeah, it's taking me right to the All Cities images folder, because that was the last place I was. Okay, and really the way I did that is because I went in there and actually did it, so that it would do this when I did the tutorial. But you just have to navigate through your computer to find your folder, and once you have it, your photos folder or images, whatever you call it, the first time it'll always go there for you, and it's just nice to stay organized. Okay, on the before and after, we always put the before in first. Okay, and I've got that selected there, and I want to show you something on here. I have made the photo in advance 600 pixels wide. It's 600 by 300. You don't have to get into sizing the height is so important, but you do have to get into sizing the width. It is very important. I'm using 600 by 300 because 600 is, if we are putting a single photo in here, would be the size that we use. But just keep the photos under, I'd say 850, or let's say, no, let's do this, 960, write that down, 960 pixels wide. It's best not to upload photos larger than 960 pixels wide. So if you're taking pictures with a camera, you need to edit them with some kind of program, and Troy told me he had something that he was working with, and he can size them down, get them down to around 600. They can be bigger. They can be all the way to 960. Your website is 960 pixels wide, and it can be wider than the website. But 960 is a rule of thumb for the internet as to the proper width for things. This I did, I designed these so they would look real nice. But here, what you want to do is make sure both photos, for the before and after, you've got them down to the same size. So let's just say it's not 600, 700 by 420. Okay, long as they're the same width each, we're good to go. Okay, the height is going to matter too. Okay, so when you size them down, if you're using the same camera, once you size them down to 700 or 800, whatever you use, 600, they will come up with the same height, so you won't have to worry about it. But they do have to be the same size. Okay, and are the ones that you start with. Now the 600 by 300 here, that is the size of the photo that it's going to be when it blows up in the window when you click over it. Okay, so we're ready to upload this. And you're going to see it's pretty quick. Bang, there it is. What it's showing you over here is the standard thumbnail size. If we were to use this as a thumbnail, which is a size setting of 150 by 140, as you see down here, I'm sorry, on your website, 150 by 150, it's a perfect square. You may use photos that size sometimes. But here's our photo. And like I showed you in the first one, this is where you want to change the title. See, the before truck is the name of that JPEG. Okay, that's why you would be changing this. So you just go before. That's it. You can add more if you want, but you got to keep the before and after in there so that people know when they zoom them up that they know that's the before and that's the after. So you want the before picture first. These should automatically be sticking here. I'm going to take a look at this address here, and it is. Link URL should be to the photo. Okay, it should automatically be there for you. If you do a post and for any reason the photo does not, when you click on it, does not zoom up and goes to another page, then it's because this was set wrong. And if you found that, you would go back and reopen to edit the photo, and I'll show you how to do that. But you would change that to link to photo, and you'll see that when I show you the going back to it thing. Okay, alignment, we want them left. Okay, full size is 600 by 300, but that's not the size we're going to be using. We're going to be using even a smaller size than this, but I'm going to bring it down to this size for right now. See, this is like thinking, oh, half size, 300, but it's not. When you put two photos next to each other, the full width is 600 for a post. Okay, and by the way, this number here is going to be whatever the size. If you did your photo 850 or whatever, these numbers are going to be different. Okay, we're going to change this, but we're going to bring it in. We want to get it down. But two photos side by side, as I mentioned, 600 is the width for one photo. Two photos side by side is not 300. Okay, because you have to allow space in between them. And we'll go over that, and you're going to be writing down the size that we use. Okay, so we're going to insert this into the post. And there it is. Okay. I'm not going to do anything else to it right now. Let's just go and get the other one, because my clicker is right there. Can you see it blink in there just before the word here's? Okay, so let's go get the other one. We want them side by side. Select file, and we want to get the after vehicle. There it is. Of course, you got to remember what you name your stuff. Okay, I want to change that title again. Now, if you forget to do this when you're first doing it, don't worry. You can go back and change it. We're going to go to that edit window. It remembered what I did last time, so it held it at the 300 by 200. and that's a temporary setting for us. So we're good to go there. It's still on the left, so we're good to go. What happened there? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Before, when, the after. This is a good example of a mistake. I must have hit the wrong button. I wasn't paying attention. You're supposed to hit insert. I must have hit something, save changes or something. Okay, we don't want to insert a gallery. Gallery is pretty cool, and if you want to monkey around with it, you can do that. Gallery, for example, would be if we had like 5 photos. Okay, and you could put 5 photos in there, and you'd want to do them all a little size. This will automatically make a gallery for you. But we want to go back to this one where I made the mistake. Yeah, I didn't. I thought I hit insert into post. I don't know. This looks really funky, but it's going to, as I warned you before. Okay, they will look really funky. Okay, we need to resize this. Now, I think I still got this one open over here. I'm going to double check this. This is how we go in and edit the photos, but I'm going to double check what size I made these, because this is a good size. This is the size you want to write down, by the way, because I got that. That was a little trial and error on my part. Okay, this is the final one. Okay, 270 wide by 135. Don't let this window scare you. Just write down that number, 270 by 135. That is the width we want to use. And now you're going to see me do that. Okay, so we click on the photo, and you saw this in the first lesson, how you get into that window. And we're going to go up there, and we're going to start making these changes. Now, it already says before here, but in the next window, we're going to have to do that again. I told you to write that down, but I didn't write it down. I should have wrote that down. We'll do that again. We'll go over the advanced window. 270, 135. I'm going to try and memorize that. 270, 135. Now, the 270, you definitely want to use that. You can be a little taller if you want to be. If you ended up doing a photo that was regular square size, you probably will be. You can make that. You can let it go bigger if you want. That's not real. That's okay. What's important is the width, because if the width is wrong, it isn't going to fit. What's very important here, though, is both photos need to be the exact same size, and they have to be width 270. Okay, down here we got that title again. And this is our before. You got to add that again. The reason it's there twice is, one is for the light box effect when it zooms up and adds the title down below it. The other one is when you put your mouse over the photo, you'll see the wording come up that says before. Okay, we're going to come back up here, and you saw this in the first lesson, but you already saw one that was already done and already had the style in here. This style will come into play now. Borders. That's a 1-point black border that's going to be put around the photo. Okay, I'm using 1 point. Maybe you want to use bigger. Vertical space. We don't need vertical space because we do need it, but it will automatically do it. The vertical space would be the space between the photo and the text here, but it'll automatically do it pretty nicely. If it doesn't, you would go back there and maybe change it. But what we're concerned about is the space on the side of them, because we're going to have 2 photos side by side. We want to have some white space here. Okay. And I usually use 4 pixels on WordPress websites. Seems to work the best. Okay, so your changes here where you added the before, you adjusted the size to a width of 270, and we're okay on the height as long as it's the same for both photos. Okay, we got a 1-point border, and a 1 pixel border and a 4 pixel space in between the 2 photos. Okay, so we're ready to update that photo. Okay, and you can see what happened there. Look at the difference in size. It's already different. You can see the borders happening. You can actually see that it's giving it some space. We got to go do the same to this one now. Okay, so bang, we come into the window. The only thing we look at this window is make sure it says after here. And 270 by 135. And remember, you don't have to live with that 135. You can use a different. But the 270 is a fact of life. 1 point border. 1 point, it's pixels. Points is like for print. 4 on the horizontal space. And again, that's the space in between the two photos. And this is our after photo, right? After. I had after on the other name, didn't I? You can go back and forth, you know. There you go. Okay, I was just double checking. You know, talking and doing the stuff at the same time is, I just can't tell you how difficult it is for me. As you can see, it fits now. And see the nice little space? Now, actually, this is, okay, here's a little mathematics test. Get your pens and papers out. How much space do we have here? Okay, why don't you guys, all you Watsons, have a little fun with that. You all pick the number, and in 3, 2, 1, I'll tell you what that is. 8 pixels. Because we're pushing it 4 and 4. Okay, we have 600 to work with. We have 600 to work with across, and that's why we've got to make these smaller so that they fit properly. Now, the reason we put the photos in first is because I knew this would drop down over here. Don't worry if some of this text was up here, you know, just in this box, because remember, this box is not, you know, really working off this particular theme. This editing program here does not know the layout of our theme that we've used. It just is, it's guessing, you know, roughly what it should be. So sometimes it doesn't look quite right, and we're going to find out if it doesn't look right. I mean, we're going to go look at it here in a second, but we're going to look at over here. You know, the two photos are there, the before and after. We got our text. We've edited that. We've done that. We put the before and after for our category. We put our tags in there. Vehicle before and after. We don't even have to worry about typos or anything. I mean, you know, it's so easy to fix afterwards. Really, the biggest thing you're doing here, and the hardest thing you're doing here, is the photos. That's the only place you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. We're ready to publish it. And don't be afraid to publish it. Once you publish it, it's on your website. So if somebody's on your website and they change pages, it's going to show up. Okay. We're going to go ahead and publish that. I think it's exactly the same as the last one. I don't know if I changed the name or anything. But we'll go ahead and preview changes, and which is going to show us the page. And it looks like it's working pretty good. Yeah, you can see your block quote. Remember what the block quote is? You know what that is, right? That's this cool looking thing down here. I really like those. If you don't like them, don't add them. But they're really good for when you kind of like talk to the people. When you go, remember, don't forget about us. You know, call us. Whatever. It just adds to the page. It gives the page a little more, you know, to look at. Here's where I put the, you know, the bold here, and I made it italic, and I put bold text on here. You can see how that worked. And here's our two photos. Okay. See when I mouse over, it says before and after. Okay. That was the first box where we hit before. And if this is going to work, it is going to work. The second time we put it in is where we get it right here. Okay, so now there's the photo, and that's 600 pixels wide. And by looking at this, you can see you could definitely use a bigger picture if you want. So you go ahead and do that. Like if you used a picture that was like 1,200 pixels or something, it's bigger than I'm suggesting you use. I mean, you could use one that's 2,000 pixels. Okay, it's just going to slow it down. It would take a lot longer to open, and it'll open and it'll stay inside your computer window, and it'll have a little box up here that you click on that'll zoom it to full size, and then it zooms off the screen and gives you all kinds of navigation problems. So I suggest not doing it, but it's something you can work with. In this particular theme, it automatically creates a slideshow effect. You'll see it says 1 of 2 here. You can just click here, down here by the 1 of 2, or you can click here to get the next one. And those two photos are a different size. I'm wondering why that is. That's something I messed up when I did it, so don't pay any attention to it. It shouldn't have been. These photos should have been the same size. I thought they were the same size. Maybe they weren't. Maybe I didn't do them the same size. That's okay though. because I mean the final photo can be different on the height, okay, and the width. It can be different. The final photo. What's important is the original photo needs to be this size, okay? And then we'll go in there and we'll do that. And that's it to doing it, okay? Now, when you clicked to preview, it opened another window, by the way, okay, just so you know. So if you're going to edit this some more, don't hit the edit here. Come over here and make your changes, okay? And let's say we're going to just probably wouldn't want to do this, but we're going to delete this in a second. So let's say you're going to go in here and I wanted that to be I don't want to hit that. You want that bold, and there's the only change you wanted to make to it, and there's nothing else. Maybe you wanted to add a tag or something like that, and you would just click update. But here's, I want to show you something. Okay, now you can't see my tabs, okay, because I'm not showing them. They're right up here, but the window is still open for that new post. Okay, and when I hit preview, if you're working with tabs and you got a decent browser, I'm using a Mac, it should work with a PC. You notice it didn't open another window. It didn't open another window because the other window is already open, and it knows that. And that's pretty cool. I don't know why that is. So I'm going to click on my tab. You can't see me doing that. And it's made that change that I made. Put that bold text right down here, which we don't want in there. But that's it. There's nothing else to it, other than I'm a little confused at this picture. But I did something wrong there. I'm going to watch the video and see what I did wrong. I'm going to let's click on that photo real quick and see if there's something about it that's not right. Well, it's not going to be in here because we set that. No, I don't think it must have been in the original upload. 270 by 135. It's showing up right on there. Or they were two different sizes. By the way, when you go in a window and look at stuff and you don't change anything, you hit cancel. But now we're back at this. I wanted to come back at this window and show you this. This is where it now shows you, and you saw that in the first video, the things that you did in the styles. It's already encoded. It's 1 pixel, margin left 4, margin right 4. And you know, when I get real technical with a website, I'll go in there and I'll take the margin off the left side and only put it on the right side, depending on which photo it is. You know, this is the after photo, so I'd want to keep the left and not the right. We don't need margins there. But again, by using 270 with 2 photos, we got plenty of room in there, and it's not tight space at all. That's basically it. That's all it's to it. It's not that hard. Okay, so I'm going to do one more video and just show you really quickly we're going to pick it up right from here, and I'm going to actually delete this out of here. The next video we're going to pick it up from here, and I'm just going to show you just one more thing on how you put in a full width photo. Okay, it's really not any different, but you will be doing that for your specials. So watch that video, and then of course you have these videos to refer to anytime you want to look at it again.